right, and here we go. Kicking off everything, going to be coming up next to Sir Bernie, making our way straight down. It's just going to be the west of Snowva Island. So, looking at everything, pretty much everything's going to be available except for our eastern paths. Might have to hop in a vehicle and make a cut across.
I was just going to say, I mean, starting off the game with a plane path this far west, when you look at the grand scheme of things, there are so many more split drop zones available far east. Game one, you usually like to think simple circles, simple plane paths. This is arguably, on a wrinkle, one of the more tricky plane paths to start things off with.
See, you say that, but over in the Americas region, it's like the first circle is going to be 95% water. That's been the name of the game. We even had that happening on Miramar, of all things. So, but that said, I do have to give a shout out to America's boys coming through here, specifically America, who is going to be in the center of this one, going to be making a drop right on Pachinki itself. I am quite intrigued in this Sonic's play style coupled in with everything. Whoa! Oh,
Taipei getting full commit. We talked about the potential. Maybe it wasn't all sorted during scrims. And of all the places in the world, Ferry Pier is where we're contesting. We're hearing the crowd, obviously.
They're invested.
Big favorites coming into this one in terms of crowd enchantment. Thailand, please come out on top, because this roof would be completely blown off.
I know. We're pretty close to the audience over here, and I don't want to see
right
what would happen. How this goes. All right, shifting through, you can see a lot of teams just making the quick run in, trying to grab weapons as quick as possible, trying to spot. Circle goes super far to the north. Payne's waiting. This trap could come off at any minute. We are seeing the rotation.
Shots fired.
Side of it. Payne's now starting to unload. Tries to line it. Does get one of them down, and that's going to be Fisher. Knocked off his vehicle, quickly flushed out of it, so it's going to be Argentina, the first one to lose a member in this game.
Yep, Germany holding on. How many more will they let through, though? Calling the bluff here, realizing it's not going to be a full teams by any chance. No way 4 people are sitting in there. Australia calling it early. They are committed. This one, nice, Nate. No damage found, though. Fludd had the right floor, but unfortunately, wall blocking off the damage.
Doing a good job of holding out right now. Canada having to dodge all the Molotovs that are coming in. Keenan has gotten hit, and it's just going to be slow and steadily attacked up, but Keenan does manage to drop a nade right on top of Tiggleton. Pushes now, starting to come through. It's going to be a knock on the other side of it. Now Shinboy trying to find the angle for it. Does get knocked, and that's going to be the end of that fight.
Back to back, you say that, but look at this Canada coming in. The cavalry is arriving a little late, and I think it's going to be too late for it to happen. Fortunate for Australia here. Tiggleton got knocked way out of the compound. He was in the open, and fortunately, there was no response from Canada fast enough to kind of come and help out. An issue now being the position that the remaining 2 split players from Canada went from has now been taken over by Finland. So fast in response, and Canada essentially has nowhere to play from now. Yeah. Teams know that that is one of few hardcover positions that you can potentially fight for or have multiple teams in. And you can see here, Korea, they understand the situation there, and they know we have to hardcover. Holding this Adam! Denying Payne's turn. Monty going to be the one to find the flush with no points for Japan, but let's see now. Japan remaining players trying to hold up. Keen goes down, Smash goes down, return Lyron. Out from the building, finds one as well. Japan in trouble. They held strong early in the open, but now they're getting run over.
There is just everybody flooding in from this angle right now. Japan's trying to hold up a Turkey, all to the defense, and it's going to be Japan, the first team eliminated. There's still fire coming for Turkey, though, as it's so many angles.
They knew they had a team right next door. They waited for the perfect opportunity to take the fight. Now they
USA
do. America out right after. Vietnam on the hill down below. USA thought they played backs free. Look down towards the shooting range area. As soon as they turn around, Vietnam instantly there.
With this silence left to make their move into it, Korea trying to bend up. Takes a shot at Argentina, but it's going to be long-range shots coming out from Canada. And luckily, we're going to see Korea continuing to defend, but the hills back behind them are going to have 2 teams still looking at shooting range.
China are not ones to be beaten around the rosy here. They will, I mean, they don't risk, like, they're just not afraid. They know that they have an entire team in front of them, and they will run to them. They will take the fight if they have to. Norrens does go down to blue. Yangrove now down to blue as well. Thailand will
there we go.
We knew the fight had to happen eventually, and Korea prevails.
Korea still has to make their move, though. China trying to make a move of their own, coming up right next to Brazil. Shot's going to come out from Payton, who's got himself a beautiful position. Gets some damage, but doesn't get the knock.
Indonesia wrapped around them. That might actually pay off. The issue is they're going straight up towards UK, and they might enact this one. Now the issue is, though, China playing with just 1 car and trees for cover, but there's so many teams with angle on them. There's no way they're going to stay hidden here. They're getting torn apart.
Doesn't matter power rankings when you've got to fight your way through so many squads. China, the definite favorites, but right now they're the definite favorite to eat a ton of nades and damage. Now, just Lou up looking around, and there's nowhere for him to go. You can see Brazil has just beat it in. Indonesia did get that position ahead of him, just like you're talking about. And we're actually looking at Vietnam now stretching back into Chinese Taipei. That might take some shots and at least reveal some type of position, give China some way to recover.
Brazil haven't been on the west side of this for quite a while. Gets an angle once more, does go for the shot. 3 kills coming the way for Brazil as China falls out in 12th play. They tried to play the Valley, but there's simply too many teams up top dealing with them.
It's so open in the north, but it is so hard to make that rotation. You can see Korea does manage to get themselves a foothold inside the zone. They've got a dip to play. They do also have Germany that's pretty close, but the circle shifts away from them, going to the west, favoring Indonesia and UK. Third, fourth party going to be all over the place, especially for the squads that are trying to come down from the shooting range hillside. I mean, targets galore are happening right now, but we can actually see UK and Indonesia are starting to get in range of each other and have started to damage each other out. They're fighting for that center spot. This means that the teams on the outside could have an opportunity. Korea hopping inside of a vehicle. They've just got a clown card. They're seeing it out. Vietnam taking some shots. Doesn't get enough to knock one just yet, but where do they go? Rolling right in, right next to Turkey.
Kutpat trying to throw one forward, bounce off a little bit to the side, not going to get it. They were standing right on top of one another. Could be absolutely insane. That one comes down. Loki, first one to fall, and Onyx down to half HP. They are in trouble. Korea, they are still alive, but they still have further to go. Turkey sitting over the top, holding on. Argentina now coming into this one too.
Trying to leapfrog this. What is Argentina going to look at? You can see just jumping in the vehicle and Onyx trying to get away, realizing this could be bad. Argentina, are you going to look at Turkey? Are you going to look at Korea? Because everybody over here is still fighting to make it inside the safe zone, and there is nowhere to go.
Everyone fighting for space. So far, United Kingdom, the one sitting inside the circle, but on the side, on the southeast, the fight's been happening so far. The last 10 minutes straight, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Indonesia knows before, but now Glorious peaks on down, fights one with Seoul. Instantly there to respond.
Trying to fight their way up this one. Vietnam takes a massive amount of casualties. Korea might have the opening for this one to try to run through. Only one member up for Vietnam at range, but it's going to be Argentina. Sells it. Trying to go for more, but Argentina goes down. Korea fighting tooth and nail to make it into the circle.
They are fighting half the server at the same time and somehow still alive through all of the 7 kills for Korea as they continue to fight their way forward. Ketba, only player left alive for Turkey, peeks forward, doesn't get an angle.
Don't stay there, Turkey.
How are they still 4 alive?
They are just murdering the entire world to get inside this zone. On the other side of this one, you can see Taipei now starting to make a move into Brazil. Brazil on the gate-kept position right now, and are going to have to try to move through them or Australia to the north.
Flash is going to keep them blind for a good while. The effects peeking on over. Everyone's been fighting. Well, honestly, with the exception of Finland, they've been able to sit tight and come up for a good while. Everyone else, you can see the Mets, you can see the heals. They are running on fumes at this point. Everyone trying to stay put out here in the open.
Should be noted, Vietnam has been doing a great job on murdering as they make their way in as well, picking up 1,800 kill points. But Brazil also trying to stack up more, realizing where Chinese Taipei is, but they have to run through a wide open field to try to get there. Haven trying to go for a flank point, looks in, gets the spray in, and there you go! Well played.
Haven, up and coming superstar, showing up here in game number 1. 5 kills already, adding the Brazil total up to 7. Top 6 guaranteed as well. And here comes Korea. Full speed forward, bumping into each other. Oh no! You don't want to do that. Logan full speed forward, takes the gun. The car! Taken down by the vehicle. Still one alive. Vex goes down too, and they all fall.
The nades! Vex just dropped the nade right on top of him. Lash trying to crawl his way into this one. Saki at range looking in. Korea does manage to at least stabilize and get one of their members back up. Oh, there we go. Luke does drop the nade on top of Haven. He's going to go down. The other members are spotted. Oh, and there goes the vehicle as well. Deny anything. Circle does pop UK's favor as well as this firefight. That means Australia can stretch down into this. They need to make a move in. Taking the shots in, and Brazil finding themselves in some trouble. But VHZ does get a knock onto Luke in retaliation.
And not until now is Finland going to be forced to make the play out here. If they read this right, if they know the fight on the hilltop is going on right now, that is where you push. You go up, you claim control, you're taking out Seoul, continuing. They are playing from a shack, and they're still finding knocks across the map.
Here's my thing. We saw Korea fight their way out of a no-win situation. They shouldn't have got out of that.
Multiple times already.
Finland is looking at them, and they have control on this, and by every regard, Korea should die here. But I mean, what miracle can Korea try to make here? They've got to cross a road that's going to be just full-on open terrain. They know it. Finland's prepped on it, throwing it in, and it's going to be Brazil on the other side. Double teaming up into it now. Finland trying to make the run in. Are we going to see LFP make the push into Australia, or is it going to be just enough to distract? A couple of shots are coming out from him, and now it's going to be Finland looking down into Brazil's direction as well.
Page falls down as Fludd finds one. This is done towards Finland. The rest should be possible here behind the rock. There's, again, Finland, plenty of utility to work with. Will have smokes up. Cover, circle moving in. Slow to HP for LFP. Can't find it. Wanted to, didn't happen. Brazil fall in fourth as the climb uphill begins for Finland and a potential win this game. This game ends on UK. I mean, this game literally ends on their shack. You can see the mollies being thrown now. They knew there was going to be people around. Vard is prone outside, though. The X-ray might not give that away that easily. The outside, but Fader finally, Nate coming in from Diggory, finds one. Don't take anything for granted. You have the utility, use it wisely.
I love this. You can see that Finland is trying to use the shack to give them the cover to get into the circle and deny everything from Australia. Australia's trying to separate out, trying to find new angles, get the sprays in. Fludd does get the knock on Mixie, and now it's getting a little bit spicy. Monty does go down as well, as it's going to be a full-on firefight. T-Bone caught in the middle of all of it, but it sprays every section of this map.
T-Bone still prone, dodging and weaving as best as it can as the nades continue to come in. 3 alive. Australia still with a chance to get a rest if they can find time to get it. T-Bone mollied up on forward. Do not want to allow for anyone to play this shack. Fludd just exactly able to avoid the molly from behind. The other side, T-Bone spots one. Now they know there's one just on the other side of the car.
Going for the spray and finally does go down. United Kingdom is eliminated, but it's going to be full on members finding it out. Fludd going for the spray and 2 members of Finland on the opposite side trying to defend up. Are we going to see Australia on the side flank find the angles for it? They are trying so hard, but Diggory trying to hold it up, but it's going to be Fludd that gets a knock on a page. Now, just Diggory up, finding on one side of it, sitting at 7 kills, but no! It's going to be Australia that picks up the first round.
Australia all the way from down under. And they grab themselves win number 1.
Respect my mind, no die from last y'all. I pray my dick get big as the Apple Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.